Right, where are we next? A little bit of history. That will take us to the end of the show. In Russia, and some of this largely fits in with From Russia with Love. And these are some of the key dates of Russia and their history. Until 1900 CE, the majority of the land was dominated by folklore worldview, and by which I mean living in harmony with nature, according to the laws of the cosmic universe, respecting everything that was created by the Creator with love and warmth. Maintaining balance is a nature-like technology. But in 1000 through 1200, implementation of the Christianization project under the strict guidance of the Dark took place. 988, forced baptism of Russia. 1200 through 1550, fight of the Vedic folklore and Vatican Christian project. Christian is nothing to do with the Vatican and everything to do with a sect of the Talmud, as will be revealed. 1302, global conspiracy of all dark forces, Zion's growth, all infernal orders, sects, etc., plus Britain, plus Jews, plus Masons, launch of its millennial trust, which is the Satanic Trust, which existed as other routes and issues within the framework of the primary divine route. 1525 through 1550, the successful struggle of Ivan the Terrible with British and the transformation of both the Vatican and Britain into bankrupt in favour of the treasury of the Russian Empire. 1551, the assassination of Ivan IV on the Stoglovy Cathedral was the victory of Christianity, the arrival of the Romanovs on the throne. And know that the bulk of them are not good either. 1551-1900, the constant struggle between Britain and Russia since the dynasty brought by the British is on the throne of Russia, and by the British I mean the entire unification of the financially liberal wing called Zion Growth. 1850 to 1890, in the Russian Empire, a group of generals of the General Staff of the Army stood out who clearly realised and was able to agree and rally around Russian unity in modern conditions of occupation. This group carried out a 30-year operation, and it brought the Bolsheviks to power, then dissolved in their ranks in order to further control the process. And as a result of its actions, many people from the common people got into the top of the power top, which served as a tremendous breakthrough for the USSR, and the struggle within the party was ongoing. They all got replaced. Well, a lot of them generals were also Black Sun. But inside the party, there was also dark forces, Trotskyites, Jews, and the agents of European influence in 1947 through 1955 were very tough in terms of the internal party struggle at the top of the government, and ordinary people could not see this process. The assassinations of Stalin, and as a result the Dark Ones again prevailed, despite the fact that in 1957, in most of the scientific and educated circles, she was ready to make the transition to a post-capitalist future. They had all the technologies. The dark side has chosen the path again to feudalism and capitalism, and since 1957 the USSR draft has been analysed. The bright side has gone deep underground, that is, realizing that the forces are not equal now, they remained in the party but outwardly moved with the party's course. 1983, the year the Global Elite World Plan came true with the introduction of the DTC/S control system. 1991 through 1993, complete seizure of power in Russia. Russia became a colony, but a Security Council is being created which includes all the power generals and the party's nomenclature, which reserves a part of sovereignty and represents the USSR rights and titles. 2000 through 2008, we understand that their management has brought the world to the brink of an ecological, economic, political disaster. And they were then talking about it was necessary to reduce the population urgently and to reduce consumption, since a new generation of bankers who had already completely degraded went to the top, lost control in their pyramid, plus law time and the objective process of the universe. What that was talking about is when M cut them all off. They thought they were all at the top of the pyramid, and they weren't. Recently, I've been watching a German series I've now completed it called Babylon Berlin. And it has some interesting tidbits in that proves, yet again, our From Russia with Love series, the Black Reichswehr. They are the Black Sun Group. And they were building a German Air Force up in 1929 in Russia. The Germans were building an Air Force in Russia. Does that make any sense? After World War I and between World War II. And even in the series, I was kind of surprised at how far they went. But then, for the average person, they're not going to have a clue. And that's how they get away with it. But he put it in your face. And thankfully some of us can see it. But what they were doing in the series, they were using stolen gold from Russia and the Tsar Nicholas, and sent a shipment of gold mixed in with biowarfare chemicals. Oops. That was supposed to poison the German people and also the Turkish people, which got stopped. Now the Black Reichswehr, which is the Black Eagle, were not Germans, by and large. And this was an outside plot to destroy Germany after they destroyed Russia in World War I. Why? Because Germany and Russia are linked by the Rus, and the Aryan people is why. Aryans are not white supremacists. That is a Zionist creation to cause division. Hitler was brown eagle, not black. Big difference. And those shows we did, for those who have listened in Germany and Poland, are guilt-releasing shows. As I know the globalist Zionist media has shamed all the people of both countries since World War II for atrocities that they committed, not the people. And those shows are shadow and inner work on a plate for the German, Polish and Russian people. His story is all BS. And even the extraterrestrial told you in part 2 of the Roswell Aztec story that his story is BS. And I'm proud that THI is playing a part in returning it to our story, not theirs. And then you have to ask, why did the Luftwaffe fly a non-stop round-trip mission within 20 miles of New York in 1944? The answer: to deliver atomic bomb material on behalf of the Black Sun. He won't tell you that in American history class. But this is where many countries have suffered under this, and it was the same for the persecuted Irish in Boston and New York, who were sending funds to the IRA for liberation from the Brits, not knowing that the IRA are part of the same system. That the IRA run all mafias and are also the Black Sun. And then you wonder how many people realise Hitler killed some of the top SS that went under the banner of SA in 1933-1934. Does that make sense? Why did he ban the Teutonic Knights and also the Freemasons? Why did he attempt to throw out the Rothschilds' banks? And like I keep saying, this is not to suggest that Hitler was a good guy, but it raises several questions on the official narrative, does it not? And these are serious questions for the German people to absorb, ask and answer. The point is, the Germans actually won World War II, but not your Germans, their version of it. And all the Americans and the Brits will scream, no, we won the war. Well, why did all the German scientists, most of which were Jewish, move to America and take over America? Because they have. People argue that the Fourth Reich has yet to happen. I would argue it started in 1947. And nowadays, anybody who is uttering critical opinions is labelled a Nazi. Yeah, it's the reverse psychology again, as it is they who are the Nazis. N-A-Z-I, National Zionism. And it's the same as labelling all white people who defend their own kind as Aryan white supremacists. And again, that was to do with the N-A-Z-Is. Now follow on from their word games and education, which means training of animals, we also have schools. So why did he call them schools? The school is a collection of fish, and because we are under the law of the sea, the Holy See. Fishes get trapped in a net, and the danger with crypto is we will all go into the net also, via the internet. In law, we come under the law of sea and maritime law, which is maritime, and under the Kali Mari Dark Mother. And this is why the mother is dark and so not seen, and why the Catholic Church dropped the mother altogether. During research this past week, I came across a few interesting bits to do with the constellation of Orion, and unearthed a Mesopotamian text from the 1700 BCE that calls it the true shepherd of Anu. Oh dear. Now the name Orion is said to be of unknown origin, although some speculate on Akkadian Uruana, U-R-U-Anna, the light of heaven. But Anna is also the name of the system that houses the birth certificates And Orion is where the money program came from also. Coincidence? So Orion is the name of a constellation which gets its name from the legendary Greek hunter who was killed by a scorpion sent by the earth goddess Gaia. And in Greek mythology, Gaia was the mother goddess who presided over the earth, and she was the mate of Uranus, or Uranus, and the mother of the Titans and also the Cyclopes. Uranus, the name of the husband of Gaia, and also the father of the Titans, it was stated. Now the Titans were one of the giant base groups here, and were not good either. And they were fought against by the Olympians and also the Nordic giants, including Thor and Odin, etc. But as for Gaia's husband being a planetary being, that confirms the piece I did about the 4 female goddesses deserting their planets in this solar system, and was the start of the fall. Only females are planetary beings. The male is the solar being only. Perhaps that changes your opinion about Mother Gaia. You decide. There was some discussion. In fact, there was some on the chat today. There was some in the UK Zoom call. And it's come up several times, and some people have issues with the 85%. Now, to me, at this point, the 85% is a bit of a distraction on many levels, as our focus is on ourselves and us as a group. And someone or something has to move humanity forward. And waiting on the masses has not served us well. And no one is saying we have to neglect them entirely. But their propensity to lead humanity towards a disaster situation by non-thinking is a blight on us all. We have waited 13 years for the RV. And we've also waited, to be fair, for the trust for the past 4 or 5 years now. And some are waiting on governments. And they have not served us, or even that they have not even served the trust well at this point. So some are waiting for Q to do something. But is it Q spelt Q-U-E-U-E? And a weight club that appears to be worse than Drake's? Question mark. But let us all not forget the longest weight club in history, as all of humanity downed tools and waited for their saviour to return to fix their ills and plight. That particular weight club now stands at 2,000 years long. We can carry on waiting for others to save or fix us, or be our own saviour, and not wait. If you lead life in love and care, you will prevail. If you lead life in fear and anger, you will fail. Feel free for you to be the person you wish to be, not the person who conforms to what others want them to be. You are a multi-dimensional being, operating simultaneously on many levels. You are not here to conform. You are not here to be stifled. You are not here to be enslaved. And you are not here to be abused, or to compete with your friends, family, or neighbours. You are here to be the best you can be, and do so as a crown of creation. Now go out with the confidence of who and what you are and excel in yourself, and in doing so, inspire others. This has been the Truth, Honour and Integrity Show. My name's Thomas Williams, and bye for now.